Right, I definitely need a beer. So let me crack this open and have a quick drink. Okay, so tonight's stream is returning to the Dev Diaries I've been doing for the past couple of months. For Pitchfork, Pitchfork is, as the introduction here on the screen says, is a game designed for low fantasy and historical settings. So it's really a set of rules that are meant to tell stories based in your favorite low fantasy or kind of quasi medieval setting. And the big part of this is you're playing commoners, and most role-playing games, especially fantasy role-playing games, feature adventurers who wander around the countryside, slaying monsters, going into dangerous dungeons and things like that. And that's just there weren't really people like that in our own history, and there arguably, if you're a commoner, you wouldn't really want to do that either, or you wouldn't be able to do that, assuming a feudal society in most low fantasy settings either. So what I'm trying to accomplish here with Pitchfork is having characters who are commoners in the countryside. So this is definitely a rural setting, not an urban setting. And therefore, you need to feel tied to your location. And the way that's achieved here is by not doing character creation when you are first starting the game. Instead, the first thing I want people to do is create a village together. And this is the village that everyone's from. And the idea is by everyone doing this together, they are invested in that village. They have even less of a reason to want to go wandering off and adventuring because they have built this home together. They're building the hooks and everything together as a group. And that's kind of important because the whole point of this game is adventures in and around the village. So kind of intrigue. You could even do investigation type of games with this. It will have a slight horror angle to it as well because let's face it, the daily life for commoners back in the medieval ages was horrific. I just realized my tavern ambient isn't on. Let me just turn that on very quickly. There we go. Yeah, so basically that's the idea here. The idea here is to create a village together, and once that's done, you have the backdrop for the rest of the game. You then create your characters not in a bubble, but within their place within this village. So that's the idea, and I've come up with rules for village generation. I did that in my last dev diary, but I actually want to playtest them because I feel like I've kind of thrown the kitchen sink at it initially. So I went through my last dev diary. If you haven't watched it yet, sorry, I just chugged a beer really quickly, so it's a bit gassy there. That's why I'm pausing so much. So my last dev diary, I was looking at other games like Fellowship. Primarily Fellowship, not Fellowship, sorry, Kingdom. Kingdom is the second game that follows Microscope, and it's basically like a collaborative mini game where you're creating effectively like a kingdom or a community together. So I used a lot of that for the community section of what we're going to be doing today or tonight. And the other big thing I got inspiration from was The Quiet Year or A Quiet Year. I can't remember exactly. So The Quiet Year it's called, sorry, by Avery Adler, and that is a collaborative card-based map-making game that I've played quite a lot of and I really love. So I'm trying to marry the two up. And so village generation is two parts. The first part is drawing the map of the village together. And as we're going through that, we're going to start putting a few touches onto the community as we're going through that. And then after we've created the map, we're going to look at the community and just put the finishing touches on the community. So yeah, I came up with a system, or I kind of was writing my notes down live a few weeks ago, my last dev diary. I have since scrubbed that several times, and I now have this document in front of me. It will be shareable, so if you want the link for it, if you're watching now, I'll put the link actually in the chat, in the Twitch chat. But I'll also put it in the show notes for YouTube and the highlight I make for this on Twitch. So you can actually go into this. You can make comments on it. It's going to be a live document. I will continue to just update the draft number as I go. So if you have comments you want to make, just double click on it. There's a little plus thing that comes up here, and you can just leave comments, and I'll see the comments and I can resolve them or comment on them, etc. Anyway, so I am joined tonight by Tony and Attila, two people who've kind of been following this channel from the beginning. So hi, gentlemen. Thank you for coming.
Hi, good to be here.
And if you've watched our Vazen stream, Tony's actually one of the players on it. So you may have seen his face if you watched our first episode last time. But as you can see, it's just me at the moment, mainly trying to conserve bandwidth for this stream. As I realized for our Vazen Tavern talk, it was pretty atrocious. So anyway, let's get started. Hey, Charlotte. So I'm not going to really go over the front page of this village generation thing. This is really for people who are coming to it new. That's a bit about Pitchfork. This bit here is actually kind of important because this should be driving every element of what we're doing today. My goals are pretty straightforward. I want to create a rough village map that all the players have contributed to. And if the GM feels that they want to finish it afterwards, they can definitely do that to make it feel complete. It can be taken, put into a typical map making program or redrawn by hand to make it look polished and posh, etc. But the main thing is that however it ends up looking, even if it's just going to be the main map, the players will feel invested in it. Then we're going to create a community within the village. That's not really a design goal. That's just part of what the steps are. The big design goal for me here is to be able to do all of the above in less than 20 minutes of real time. Now, that's not going to happen now, but that's where I want to get to ideally. So I'm looking for places where I feel like maybe we're adding, and by the way, Attila and Tony, this is something I would like feedback on live as we're going. If there's a step we're coming up with and you feel like it's not really adding much, please say something straight away. We can have a little chat about it then. The idea for this is it's a play test, right? So we're gonna try and test it out, but also have a think about maybe if there's ways we can streamline it, etc. And that's a big thing to remember is this last point of being able to do it all in less than 20 minutes of real time. I could add a ton of extra steps to this village creation, right? I could make it really detailed. You could essentially be doing lots of different steps and adding lots and lots of detail to it. But the idea is really just to get a village in place, to get a community in place so that the players have something to feel attached to, right? And therefore we're going to try and I ideally want to keep this there's a fine balance between not enough detail and too much detail. So I kind of want to get somewhere in that sweet spot. Optional rules is a great way to do it, and I've already thought of doing that. I think what I might end up doing is what we've got here might be the full set of if you want to take a full session, if you're going to be running a campaign of Pitchfork, for example, and you want to have a session 0 where you're laying down the ground rules for your group. You're talking about the social contract, and then you also want to do character creation. Well, this would be a good step to slot in there, and this could then take a little bit more time. You could take an hour to do this or whatever, and then that would be fine. And then basically the ideal village creation bit will be maybe in an appendix. So it might be that the best way to do this, if there's no way I can get it down to 20 minutes or less, is to just have a separate mini thing that's only touching on a few small bits and pieces, and maybe just completely take the map making element of it out, for example, because I think the map making you'll find is going to take a bit of time. Okay, any questions or comments from either of you?
Nope.
No, I just have to tell you that I'm very bad at painting.
Yeah. No problem. And we're doing this with mice. We're doing this with mice as well, so it's going to be even worse. That's fine. This is a play test. I've done this. I've played The Quiet Year many times. I'm not a great artist either, and it's absolutely fine. It can look horrible. That wasn't a prerequisite of you coming on here is being able to draw really well. The idea. Well, I'll explain this as we go. So let's get started here.
Okay.
The first thing I'm pointing out here is just a caveat. If people are wondering why, I'm using Germanic name conventions, and that's because I am planning on using Pitchfork as an alternative system for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, which is set in a fictitious old world empire, which is modeled on old Germany. So all the names and place names are Germanic. So I'm just following suit with that. That's all the suggestions here. So when we're going down, for example, there's a table here for, the ruler's name. Yeah, the ruler's name. Why is that the first step on the map? Interesting. I've changed all this around.
Yes.
See, I've got the noble family. It shouldn't be the ruler's name. It should be the village name there at this top.
You have the same tables for both.
I know. This is copy and paste errors as I've been rushing around like a headless chicken. So let me just find the last time I did this when I changed it. Oh god, it's been like that for a while. Okay, so I want one of these ones. Alright, I'm just going to copy this and just throw it in. It's not going to look pretty. Alright, can you see that?
Nope.
Yeah, in fact, the first thing is to, the
There you
print
go.
out.
Okay.
Village name. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's good. Good place to start. I had ruler's name twice. So I actually wanted to come up with a table for that. I think what I did is I wanted to make a table for the village name, and I pasted the table in for the ruler's name, intending to modify that table, like add columns and not have to redo the whole thing. And I completely forgot to do it. So anyway, here we are. Village name is the first step. So anyway, the idea is like here, as you can see here, these are all Germanic prefixes. They all have a meaning in German. And all the suffixes also are place name or kind of slightly positive, slightly humorous, suffixes in German. And I live in Germany, and I've looked at a map of my surrounding area, and I've gone for these prefixes and suffixes that are actually in and around the area I'm in. And I've also gone for some that are kind of more famous in Germany as being silly place names, that sort of thing. So anyway. That's just the discussion on Germanic naming convention that I'm going with. As I say here, that you can definitely ignore the Germanic flavor and just go for something else. But I'm deliberately keeping it in there like that to keep it Warhammer feeling. And if both of you are okay to kind of do that as we're going through, we can. I don't know. Do you have any preference?
Nope.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I think we do the vanilla as you have it.
All right. And then the last bit here says prioritizing your imagination. I've included many random tables, but I've deliberately kept them short to encourage the use of your imagination. At every stage, try to use these tables as examples to kickstart your imagination. How many times can I say imagination in 2 sentences? Anyway, you get the point. Other than the village name one, which is pretty detailed, I try to have just like a single D6 table. This one's a D3 table, rather than doing like a D66 table at each stage or a D20 or something like that. The idea is if you want to roll on it, you can roll on it, and then that might give you an idea that you can just change around, or you can just pick one. And I've done it like this, where I've got like 2 options. Some of them have 3 options, because then you're also not... It's not like completely randomized. If you want to roll for it, you roll on it, and then you're often given 1 or 2 or 3 options on that roll, and then you just pick one that you think sounds the best. So, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So.
All right.
Okay, Attila, you do prefix and I do suffix.
That's fine. Yep. All right.
So basically the first step when we're doing the map is coming up with the kind of concept for the map and the surrounding area, and also drawing it out as we go. So it says to grab a blank piece of paper. We actually have here, I've put in InVision, which is a digital whiteboard. I've put like an A4 parchment, and I've got little sticky notes with all the steps prearranged. So I've kind of prepped this a little bit. So go ahead, both of you, give me just pick one, or come up with, if you want to roll the dice, whatever you want to do.
I roll the dice. I roll the 5, and I choose Klein.
Klein, okay, small.
Klein, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the suffix now. I got a 6. So Klein. Kleinfeld. I think that sounds good.
Kleinfeld. So Little Field is what we're calling this village. Okay, that works. So I'm just gonna
Perfect.
I'm gonna just basically write it in here. In mouse. I know there are. So the reason I'm oh crap, the reason I'm doing this like this is. I tried doing text a minute ago and it wasn't. It looks okay like this. Okay, it seems to be working now. If I highlight it, make it bold, yeah. For some reason, as soon as I make it go bold, it cuts it off. I know you said it doesn't do that on your screen, so it might have something to do with the sharing settings. So I'm just ignoring. We're just gonna ignore that and do it like this instead.
All right.
So I know it looks like shit, but in fact I could just put Kleinfeld without making it bold or anything, and it should be fine, like that. In fact, if I make it bigger, okay. So I'm not gonna make it bold, and that should be fine. Okay, so Kleinfeld.
Kleinfeld.
So that's the name of our village. Next step then is to think about the location. This is essentially, where is this village located? What are some geographical things in the region? Okay, so what's the surrounding geography like? And we need to draw. One of us needs to draw the boundary of that on the edge of the map or edges of the map, however it works out. For example, if you were to roll or you were to choose something like a peninsula, you would draw. If we look back at the map, you could draw something like, you know, like a peninsula like this, right? Okay. And then you could just do like it's water here, for example.
A sea line, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the idea is we want to keep the center. We want to try and keep as much space in the center or on the map for the village and its surrounding area. Okay. So what are you fond of? We can try rolling again, but the idea is we agree something. So I mean, you could both roll dice and both, you know, come up with some random ideas, or are any of those kind of jumping out at you?
I mean, I kind of like the idea of number 3, like close to a big river or a delta. I actually like the idea of a delta.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm happy rolling.
Yeah, but I mean,
all right. River Delta sounds good to me as well.
Okay. So if you
Let's go with that, then.
if you both like the sound of a wide river, so let's go with that. So one of you, you can change your pen at the top. You can choose a different color, so choose like a blue color maybe.
Okay,
like
I got a blue.
All right, and then basically just draw like the two. Whichever way you want to do it. You're drawing it on the map. Draw a river on the map.
Okay.
It's meant to be a kind of, rather than just a single line, you're drawing 2 lines, right? So it's like either bank of the river, and it's meant to be relatively wide. But remember, we're also going to be putting a lot of stuff around, so I wouldn't make it like a third or even a quarter of the width of the page or anything like that. But just make it needs to be wide enough that there are 2 lines on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would put it maybe on a corner, not on the center.
Oops.
So if you hit 2 on the keyboard, that should jump you to your pencil.
There you go. That's the river. This is what you had in mind.
Yeah,
And
it's like a delta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
Put like a river.
That's nice, yeah.
What's it in there? A couple of little islands.
Like the delta in the delta. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's your water.
Perfect.
Love it.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Good. Okay, so we got our location done. Next is the household. So what size do we want this to be? It can be between 20 and 100 households, where a typical household is about 6 people. So we can come up with something. We can roll some dice for it if you want. You can roll D3 and just pick like tiny, mid-size. Oh, it says SC there. That's a bit weird. Kind of small, medium, and large. 100.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like kind of a middle size would be nice.
Okay.
60 households. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
So over here, I've got on the left, I have a blue one. I'm just going to put in there 60 households.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Next one is resources, and that's what are we need to I guess each of us can come up with one, or each of you can come up with one. We need one resource which is abundant and one resource which is scarce. Okay. The idea here is that if there's something like, and you can look at examples on the document as well. You could say that crops are in abundance. This basically is saying that the village is known for, or the primary industry of this village is farming, agriculture. It could be herd animals. Maybe like there's a lot of sheep or like cows or pigs that this area is known for, and that would be one of them. Likewise, so there's just a bunch of options there. On the flip side, scarcity could be any number of things. It could be, you could have exactly the same thing. Maybe crops are scarce. Maybe you can't grow anything on the land because it's like the soil quality is really bad. So they rely on food either from the sea. So maybe like for as an example, fish could be a really good abundance on the basis that it's on a river and it's near like a delta. So it's near like I'm assuming like an ocean or a sea or something like that. So this could be a fishing village. That could be the abundance. And maybe because it's near the sea and there's, I don't know, maybe there's something with the soil. Maybe it's a bit sandy, this close to the coast. Maybe crops are a scarcity. That could be an example I'm just throwing out there. So have a think about that. Have a little discussion if you want. And why don't each of you come up with one of them? I don't mind which of you. So one of you come up with an abundance first. It doesn't have to be fish, by the way. That's absolutely fine if it's not.
Should be fish though. Right next to the ocean or sea.
Yeah, I was thinking also because Matt translated the name for us, so it means little field. So that means that I would think that the town is concentrated more on the fields, and that's where the name comes from. So I would think maybe that the abundant one should be the crops or something that is field related or herd animals. And then the scarcity could be something different, because usually also deltas tend to be very
who just
good
deleted?
mineral.
Oh, it's me. Yeah. So that could be the thing. Like maybe fishing. Maybe there are like that. We're talking about a medium-sized village, right? 60 houses, and there could be like 5 households that are devoted to fishing, but the primary abundance in this village is crops, and that's absolutely fine. So we'll just say the abundance then is. Are you happy with that? By the way, Attila.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna say crop. So what is the crop? We need to specify the crop. It could be wheat. It could be spelt. It could be rye, barley, potatoes.
Oh. Wheat.
I'd say wheat, yeah, like that.
Okay, so the resource is wheat. That's the abundance. A means abundance. I don't know why I put B, A and B. I meant to put A and S. But A, abundance, and this is a scarcity. And what's the scarcity going to be then? I wouldn't say fish necessarily. I mean, you could say fish, and there'd be a cool reason behind that, maybe. But what is the scarcity?
Yeah, I was thinking more like ore, like metals. It's probably a very muddy, clayish area.
Point.
Like river.
Okay. So raw ores.
Raw ores, yeah.
Raw ore.
Although this is not very dramatic, I would say we have plenty of food, but we cannot do anything that is related to minerals. So.
But that's fine. That means, especially if you think about trade and stuff like that, metal is going to be it's going to be worth quite a lot. More than it would be in places that are closer to mountains, for example, right? Or close to a marsh where you can find bog iron and things. So that just means there is some tension there. There's some potential plot for the GM in terms of how metal is treated in the village. And that's fine. That starts telling a story already. That's kind of the point here. Look at these. It's so very weird how it's like cropping. I don't know if it looks like that for you, but it's cropping the letters a little bit. Still, for me. Anyway, okay, so that's cool. That's our resources out of the way. Then the next thing is to think about an oddity, like what the village is known for. This can be something humorous. It can be something a little bit dark. And yeah, here's some examples I've provided kind of 6 options for.
Yeah, so
we could go. The village got 2 sides, one on each river, each side of the riverbank. Maybe.
Yeah. That wouldn't be known for that necessarily, because I think it's quite common. We probably would I would assume we'd just be drawing that anyway. but maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's like split personality type of thing where
Well, I was
I don't know.
thinking if we are lacking, maybe, I like the idea, for example, of the 6 options. Famous for something, a strong regional dialect, recycled building, haunted by benevolent ghosts, built in surf to look like natural hills, built vertical into a cliff face. I would say I like the idea number 3 and maybe number 5. 3 because if we don't have ore or minerals or whatever, maybe we are scavenging and we are taking things from these nearby
Okay.
ruins that maybe they are on the other side, as you were saying, for example.
Oh yeah.
And it says here
Maybe there was.
draw it on the map somehow. So that could work really well. We could draw on the map some ruins, like the ruins of, we could just say old ruins. So you would draw something somehow, well, whatever you think ruins look like, write it underneath old ruins, something like that. And the idea would be that there are these, like, I guess, like pieces of stone that have been taken, like ancient stone. Maybe some of them have like carvings on them and stuff, and
Yeah.
they've been recycled. And that's what the house has been made out of. That's quite cool. I like that.
Yeah. Maybe because we are on the coast, so we could mind we
Yeah.
had a fortress in the old times, and
Yeah.
something happened, a war, a battle, and maybe that's why also it's called Kleinfeld. Maybe there was a battle in one of the small fields, and there are still weapons around, rusty. I don't know, things like this.
Okay. So
Go, Attila. You seem to be good at drawing. I would say maybe on the top part, maybe.
Okay, top right corner.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
it doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be a small little depiction on the map.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a good roll.
Oh, looks good. And then I'll just quickly throw something in here with the text and just type old ruins. Yeah.
Old ruins, yeah.
Cool. All right. Perfect.
You've been an artist.
Oh, that's the oddity. So I need to put here village oddity, buildings created, building materials scavenged from nearby ruins, stone ruins. From nearby ancient stone ruins. Yeah. So we're talking this was a long time ago. And the idea is, I guess, kind of you almost think of like if you go visit medieval towns nowadays, and you can find, like, sometimes you'll find parts of buildings that have like the bottom of the bottom meter of this house is like part of an old wall or something, that's kind of what I've got an idea of in my head. Cool. I like that. That works. Right, then we start looking at the details. This is where it kind of gets interesting. So we've got an overview of the village, right? We have a name for it. We have an oddity. We know we know the resources that are kind of there for it, that it's in abundance and scarce of. We know the size of it, and we know its rough location in terms of geography. Now we're going to start putting a little bit more detail in there. So the first one here is the main road. So any village theoretically needs a main road. This is where this doesn't necessarily make sense, though, is let's talk about it. Does there need to be a main road considering it's on the coast? Because it could be that there is river traffic that gets to this village. Or maybe there's a road that passes along the coast. There could be like a coastal road that goes, at an angle following the coast that passes through.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a road that ends in this tiny village. So that's kind of the idea. What's where would there be a road, and does there need to be a road? I guess there kind of does actually need to be a road, because there's going to be a ruler here of some description, and the ruler would need the ability to use a road if they had to, and not just rely on a boat.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Should have a road. I should come across the river as well.
Like have a bridge? Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Or just a ferry or something.
Mm-hmm. I think it could be a
That
bridge.
could be it.
If it's like a main coastal road, then I think a bridge makes sense.
Yeah, I was thinking about I like the idea of the bridge, and actually I was thinking, if we have these old ruins, you can imagine there must be an old paved road from ancient times or whatever, and maybe it's linking. I'm just thinking, the road comes from here, and then they created a detour that goes to the. I'm very bad.
That's fine.
Like
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah.
the road. So the idea is the road has to connect from one edge of the map to another edge of the map. So it can't just end.
Yeah.
We need to. Yeah. But that's.
Yeah,
that's
no, but what I was thinking is that the town will be here on the X, and then.
oh, not on the river. Oh, okay.
Well,
I assumed it would
well,
be on the river, but okay.
Yeah, okay.
That doesn't need to be. No, that's fine. That's fine.
I don't know.
No, this is exactly the right thing. I'm not. The idea is like what we're playtesting here is that we're pretending that I would be the GM and you would be the players, right? So I'm kind of dictating it a little bit how it runs. But for the most part, it needs to be the players deciding how things look. So there's no right or wrong answers here.
Really?
Touche.
I'm just trying to see, maybe we can make the kind of the all paved road comes through here. Ah, damn it, I'm very bad at this. How big are the roads?
Just a single line. I think just a single line
A
is.
single line, yeah.
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 Okay. So let's say, yeah, okay, fine. Then you have the single line of this going to the ruins. So, and then we take over from there, and then we go, and there is a bridge. Something like that.
That's a beautiful bridge.
You're too kind, sir. You're too kind. Okay. And then the town, I don't know. Either we do as Matt and maybe next to.
Well, we don't do the town just yet, do we? We just do the main road.
Yeah,
okay.
but I mean, it's worth thinking about where you want to have the map. But the idea is that like there's a main road that passes through the village, and the village will probably be reacting to the road, rather than the other way around. Like the road wouldn't be,
Okay.
The road would have been built by whoever owns the area, and if it had to go through a village, they'd just be like, well, it's going through the village then. They wouldn't go around one necessarily. So I would just continue to like draw the line however you want it to go. We can decide where we want to.
Attila.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And the road goes out down here.
Cool.
Just like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Fine.
Sounds good.
All right. So that's the road. Next one is fresh water. Every village needs a source of fresh water. And I've put here the next player draws a river, lake, well, etc. on the map. If there's already a convenient source of water, skip the step. We have a freshwater river, right? So
Okay.
I think we're fine then. Although we could say something like there is. Well, yeah. Anyway, you can make an argument for wanting something else if you wanted to. Like maybe there's a big city up, just not very far upriver, and the water isn't necessarily very safe to drink.
Yeah.
But we can say it's fine. Like if it's kind of a more remote village, we can just leave it for now.
Clean water.
No, anyhow, who drinks water? You have beer, man.
Yeah. And wine.
I mean, who would ever drink water? Seriously.
Not in the medieval times. Well, actually, yeah, there's a lot of argument about that, whether actually they did drink beer or not. But anyway, the next thing is quite an important step, and this is the manor. So either the ruler's manor or castle or whatever, it usually will be a short distance from the village, not directly in the middle of the village, and it would have some sort of defenses in case of an attack, like high walls, a moat, etc. Now, you don't have to give a lot of thought to this. The main idea is where should it be located, and give it some sort of little detail when it's being drawn. So is like if it's got high walls, then draw like walls with like a little castle behind it. If it's got a moat, try and draw like a little moat around it. Whatever.
I'm thinking if you place a fortress or a manor, you wouldn't put it next to the coast because that's easily attacked, and neither next to the river, right? You would put it more inland to avoid it to be an easy target.
There are a lot of castles built on rivers, but they often like on big rivers they will often divert the river to like a moat. So yeah, because it's easier to defend. You can't have big ships sailing right up a river and attacking it from the ships with like catapults and things, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Okay, so how this? Maybe we can put it next to the bridge, and then actually it's controlling the passage, and maybe putting taxes on the people for using the bridge or coming to this town, and then it's a nice bridge actually, maybe, and white and.
This is actually something I need to consider here. Is I didn't because I was moving around each step where they're meant to be located. The the manor, the ruler of the town could even be something like a bailiff. It doesn't have to be like a nobleman or a knight or something like that. So it could be that like the person who controls this village, there is no manor. It's just a tax collector, a toll collector, and they have to send the tolls every however often up to the noble who's in charge of the region, and therefore, yeah, they actually could have something directly in the middle of the town. That could work.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we put the manor here, and the town is a little bit farther down, like here, something like that. What do you think, Atira?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but I would put the actual village right next to the bridge itself, so let's put it quite close. Because if it's not a lord, they could all be together as one village.
Okay, yeah, why not? So so we do the manor. Okay, how do we do the manor? So something like this. Don't get I'm very bad at this. I told you I'm terrible. I'm trying to do a wall. This is a disaster. It looks like a sausage.
Yeah.
Dang it, disaster.
You can hit Control Z. Hit Control Z.
Oh, there you go. Control Z.
Yeah.
I try to put one there.
Yeah, go ahead. You seem to have a steady hand.
Simple wall there. Your brick line. There's the house inside.
Okay. Beautiful. That works. And then I'm gonna mess this. I'm gonna skip around a little bit. I'm just gonna quickly give the village we're gonna come up with the ruler's name. So if you skip down to step 2, part 3.
Step 2, part 3. Okay.
No, we'll leave it. We've drawn the manor. Let's leave it. Sorry. We'll just take one step at a time. So I just need. I'm gonna put a comment here that the this note that this doesn't have to be a noble residence. Okay. So then we talk about the village center. So we're gonna actually pinpoint where the center of the village is, and decide what is at the center of the village. And I've given some examples of what that could be. So something like a crossroad, a village green, a market square, an inn or a tavern, temple or a shrine. Maybe there's some sort of ancient statue or structure, something like that. And we're going to draw it. So that's just the next bit, is we're kind of deciding where the center of the village is going to be, and we're going to be just drawing what is at the center of that village. So what are your thoughts?
It should be a market, I say. Because you got the river, the main road. Could be a trading point.
Yeah.
And we're saying if there's a toll, like a toll collector on a bridge, that's assuming that there's enough traffic on there that they need to have a toll, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, that kind of makes sense. Okay.
But then that's clashing a little bit with maybe the abundance of the resource. Maybe we should make it different. Maybe it's a trade post.
No, it's fine. We can actually even do more than one. We can say wheat. We have wheat and trade.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want a village market square.
Yeah.
Just do you can just draw a square if you want somewhere.
True.
And then we can put with the text. We can just write under it market square. Or market or something.
There is your square. Oh, there you go.
I did another one. Because we have the tool to do a square.
Yeah, there's a tool there.
And then you can actually, you
and
can
in fact,
make it
if you hold shift down while you're drawing, oh no, you draw first.
damn it.
Whoops. So if you draw like a square, like I'm doing here, then you hold shift. No, never mind. Shift does a straight line. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay, but
Anyway, that's fine. That's fine. So do one of you want to put the text box in and say market square, or just market? Or I can do it, whatever.
Yes, please.
Okay. There we go. Perfect.
Perfect.
All right. So, that's our center. Cool. Then we're going to be doing inside the village. I don't know why I've got this step here.
Well, that's why we are playtesting.
Yeah, I had this afterwards. I liked it better afterwards, but let's stick with it now. It feels like we're starting externally, right? We're looking at the geography, we're looking at the road, etc. Then we're starting to center in on the actual thing itself. And once we start doing that, like we have to come up with an NPC for each of these locations within. And then after we've done that, we're going to zoom back out again and look around the village and talking about like, oh, we have a copse of trees over here, we have a sinkhole here, that sort of thing. And I feel like that's kind of zooming in and out at the wrong stage. So I think we'll move that. I'm going to move this right now.
You can also argue that you are actually starting with a big details, like these things, and then you move to the small details. So it could make sense to make this first in that case, because you are making all these major things first.
You mean like the center of the village first?
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like some of the external factors will actually help decide what the inside of the village looks like, because if you draw like a copse of trees, for example, or you draw like a cave or an abandoned mine, then you can draw like as a location within the village, you can draw like a miner or I don't know, something that relates to that external thing.
Okay.
The problem is that we haven't even drawn the streets of the streets of this. I mean, is this like a very urban like town, or is it more like 2 or 3 houses around the main square, and then you are going to have all these things that you mentioned as around the village that are kind of extra details around the map, because it's true here we haven't shown anything about the village, only a central point of the village.
Yeah.
But the village should have some houses. I mean, when do we paint all these houses?
We don't.
People living here.
We don't. That's one of the steps that comes afterwards. So the idea here is that we're going to be putting down. Well, you'll see. We're going to get to the bits where we're talking about what are some of the main locations within the village. We'll be doing that, and then the idea is that afterwards you kind of, there's a bit right at the bottom that says optional step finishing the map. And that's like a cluster of houses, or rather a cluster of houses. We could say clusters of houses, walls around the village, fields, a stream, a path, etc. That sort of thing. So we do that at the end. The idea here is that we're doing broad strokes. We're doing the kind of the key things that make up the village. So I'm just changing it around a little bit. So I've moved inside the village down to step 7, and instead we're in details. I'm going to Oop. Oh my god. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Oh shit. There we go. Okay, then I'm gonna come down here. For each location, create a rumor. Okay, there we go. All right. Right, so we're going back to 6.3, around the village. Around the village, it says, take turns so that each player comes up with and draws 1 geographical detail. Here are some examples. And we've only got 2 players, so we're going to do 2 each.
May you do 1, Matt?
I could, but I think we want, I want at least 4, I think. But I can come up with 1, we can do 5. I can do the first one if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll just, I'm gonna stick with these tables. I feel like the tables are quite good at coming up with something. Here we go. We got one from chat. A mount that the villagers think is the burial place of a giant.
Love it.
Yep. So we're gonna do that. So this is not in the village. This is around the village. So we're gonna put over here. I'm gonna draw kind of not too close to the river, but maybe like over here. And we're gonna call it giant mound. Okay. Perfect. Okay. That was easy.
Yes.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Okay. So go Attila.
I go with some caves next to the riverbank.
Sure. Although you would think that next to the river is gonna be very, very soily, no? A lot of soil.
Well, maybe the north side is soily, and then, or we could use the north side, very stony, like a cliff,
Okay.
and then the south side is where you got all the sand.
Well, why not? Yeah.
So I changed that quickly, and there's gonna be some caves here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can. That's the shadow. There you go. There's 2 caves right there.
Okay. And we need to put a little comment on there. Go ahead and do that. A little text box. Just call it caves.
There you go.
Okay.
You need to change the color. I think you're using a very light gray.
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
1 sec.
If
You have to you'll have to rewrite it, I think.
Yeah.
You'll have to redo a new text box. I'll just delete that one.
Yeah, even the
Okay.
caves, because they are a little bit...
No, I think the caves are okay. We can leave them without drawing them again.
Okay.
Text.
You need to do it up there when you pick the color.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay,
There you go.
and then
Yeah.
for me, I think I'm just gonna roll it. Let's see what we get, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
1d6. Let's go. 1. Cups of Trish.
And you can you can use that as a starting point, and you can expand on it. So cups of trees, just like there's like a wood nearby somewhere. That's where people get wood, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let's do that.
Where is the Robert? Sorry.
I think you just erase with delete.
You select it with the there is an eraser on the pencil. If you click on the pencil.
Okay, these are gonna be the trees.
Cool. Yeah, that works. Small wood, or I don't know. Give it a name if you can.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it.
I mean, we can give you a name from from the village name bits. Roll a d6 twice.
Okay. 6.
Mm-hmm.
And 1.
That's not really any good. But the first bit, you could use mist or langen. Mist means like manure, like crap. Langen means long, so I don't know. You could call it like Langenwald, which would be like longwood.
Okay, I like it. Langenbad.
Yeah. All right. Then should I do another one?
Yeah.
We'll do 6 then. We'll each do one. I've rolled a 5, which is an ancient burial mound or overgrown ruins. Okay, so we have old ruins and we have a burial mound.
Yeah.
But taking that a step further, maybe there can be there's a ruined tower maybe near the coast. So I'm going to draw a ruined tower on the coast.
Maybe it used to be a watchtower.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lighthouse or
lighthouse, yeah.
But who knows what it is? It's a tower, the top is missing, it's near the coast.
Yeah.
Yeah? And there's like a broken down doorway there. We'll call this Broken Tower. So again, we have another ruin. Oopsie daisy.
Oh, and the river gone.
There we go. Okay, next.
Okay, Attila, you go.
I rolled 3-6. I got a 4. A huge ancient tree.
or
Okay.
a foot skull, like a mountain in the shape of a skull. I mean, whatever. Yeah, a huge ancient tree could work somewhere.
Right next on the crossroad.
Yeah, that's a good
By
idea.
the old ruins.
Yeah, I like that.
So there's your ancient tree. And that's brown. There you go.
Orange.
Yeah, but it's not brown there. That's the closest one to brown.
Just make it gray. That's kind of hard to. I can't actually see that because I'm colorblind.
Oh.
I can barely see it because I saw you drawing it. Yeah, that works. I think a bit better for me anyway. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
And we don't even need to name all of these if we don't need to, because I think that's really obvious what it is. There's a tree. There's an ancient tree near the crossroads. That's fine. Okay. Now this is where it starts breaking down. Like we're each going once, which is 6 times, and there's a D6 table, although there are 2 options for each one. And this is where it starts breaking down if we're only doing stuff from the table. So maybe it's something. Maybe I do need to come up with more than just a D6. Maybe I need to do something a bit more. Anyway, Tony, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't go more because it's true. We've gone already 4 times. And,
well, there are 3 options we haven't used here, and this is the last one, isn't it?
Yeah, but
because we used Charlotte's example, right?
I mean, for example, one thing that I feel we are missing is where are the crops, where are the fields.
We're supposed to draw that.
Yeah.
If back up where it says resources, discuss and agree the resources. Draw these if possible and write them on one side of the map. So we didn't draw them.
There you are.
So the raw, we can't really draw raw ore. We can't really draw trade. The tax collecting or the toll collecting house is kind of that. But the wheat, we can definitely draw fields.
Well, we can do this like okay, you need to pay if you want to go like a barrier.
Like a barrier. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And then the fields, we can just do them here. I don't know. No?
Yeah.
These are the wheat fields.
I wouldn't put them too close to the coast, but yeah. Because you can do
them.
them.
I don't know the distance. We don't know the distance, right?
No, that's true. It's all, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I can take one.
I would have put the field right next to the road as you come in from the top. So as you arrive to the village, to the bridge, you got all the fields on your 2 sides.
You mean here?
You see my pencil?
No, on the other side
Yeah,
of it.
but I would put them next to a town. If not, it's very annoying to have to cross, no?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I mean, fields are often spread all over the place, right? You'll have a farmer who works a field wherever the field happens to be. They don't necessarily all need to be in the same place, but
okay,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter too much.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
The thing is, we're gonna be coming up with at 4 to 6 locations within the village itself. So I wouldn't put the fields too close to the actual center of the village anyway.
Okay, because where the fields are, we have to put the houses and everything else. Basically.
I mean, we can move it. We can move it as well.
Thank you. It's very complicated.
Yeah, it's a bit easier if we did it at the right step, because now we're trying to fit it in with everything else. But
something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we can put and now the ore. That's harder to show. Yeah.
We don't. I don't think we show it. We can't show like a scarcity of ore. It's just obvious, right? It's there's no ore. Okay, but that's fine. So we have that. And is that us? Is that us finished with the bits around the village? I think so, right? So Attila, you've done the tree and the caves, and Tony, you've done the field and the forest, and I've done the tower and the mound. Is there anything else we want there? I think that's probably okay.
Otherwise, it's gonna be too much.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna go into the village. We've drawn the manor already, so we can skip that step. We've drawn the village center, so we can skip that step. And then we're gonna take turns defining and drawing locations within the village where characters are likely to interact. Okay. Once we've each created a location, so actually I need to give this a title as well. So this is going to be locations, which is we have to think of a better word later. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
so
around the village you could call it landmarks.
oh yeah, that's good. That's
And
good.
this is and then this is locations.
Locales or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've already said inside the village above it. Okay, so we're each gonna define and draw a location within the village where their characters are likely to interact. So like where people are going to be interacting with each other. Once everyone's created one, we'll take turns and create a second one. Okay. They each need to be given a name, and the second, if you look underneath these 6 options, it says create an NPC for each location, give them a name. So if we look, and I've also put for each location, create a rumor to. So I've kind of got quite a bit here. So let me just, if you look here at the yellow cards, right? We've got a location, we got an NPC, and we've got a rumor. And the rumor's at the bottom. So the bits in the middle, the RMIB, we'll leave that for now because we'll come up to that later. But for now, basically, we'll be replacing this and saying instead of location, it'll be like mill, right? And the NPC will replace that and say like Sven, right? Sven will be the, you know, Sven Müller will be the miller, right? Something like that. And you'll call it something like the old mill, or you know, Sven's mill or something like that, right? But the idea here is that we're saying, okay, there's a mill, it's run by Sven Müller, and the rumor is that, you know, Sven, something to do with Sven or something to do with the mill, okay? And that's what we do at this stage. So we do all that together. And we can kind of agree this together. We can kind of, yeah, like however we want to do it. So let's take it in turns. I don't actually necessarily need. I'm not tied necessarily to there being that mill called the old mill. So I'll take that out. So that okay, that's the idea. So who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Attila.
Okay. So we can use these tables what you created already, can we?
Yeah, you can roll, I guess, or you can just pick.
Yeah, whatever you want.
I choose the inn. Simple. Opposite the... Do I need to draw it as well?
Oh yeah, these all need to be drawn, definitely.
Okay, so opposite the tax collector's house, I'm gonna have the inn.
You know, I've been thinking, I think for the artistically impaired players, you really need to add stickers when you print this out. So we can just put the stickers on the map, you know. This is an inn. Put it wherever you want, like I do with my kids.
But then I have to come up with stickers for like pretty much everything that could possibly come up, right?
Just to help, you know. This is very stressful for me to have to.
That's fine. That's fine. Because what I can do afterwards, I could even do a dev diary where I'm using like Inkscape or WonderDraw or something, and I can just show taking this map of Kleinfeld and making an actual like more professional looking map out of it. Whoa.
Yeah, but it would be nice actually to have like.
What's this way?
You did undo Attila. You deleted the map and not the letter.
No, because it would be nice to have kind of simple.
How do you do that?
Control Z.
Control Z.
Yeah, it would be nice to have kind of little stickers or kind of, you know, vectors that you can just place around.
Okay, so I created it.
Yeah. That also gets tricky. That also gets tricky with like I have to either pay somebody to create them, or I have to
get the
try and use free ones somehow, or make them myself, which is also wouldn't work necessarily. I mean, I could draw some really bad, like sketchy looking ones that could be kind of funny, I guess. And there's an ability here to import images. So like anyway, it is possible, definitely.
Yeah. No, because it's cool, but it's true. Like you want it to look nice.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. Okay. The idea here is that we're actually like, if you look at the map already, I think the map is already looking kind of interesting, right? We have things developing on it. This is the idea, is that we're kind of bringing this thing together. So anyway, we've got this. The location is the inn. So if you look at the first yellow post-it note, you need to give the inn a name. So what's the inn going to be called?
The Toll House.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
perfect. So that goes where it says location.
There you go.
Who's the NPC? Replace the NPC line with a name of someone. And I actually have tables here if you want to roll for it.
People.
Give me a D100
Cheers,
roll.
Charlotte.
A D100. I have 46.
46.
Yes.
Do you want it to be a kind of more of a male or a masculine or feminine type of name?
Feminine.
Carlotta
Perfect.
with a C. And
Like
what's the
that.
surname? With two T's, but it doesn't matter. Whatever, however you want to spell it. Do you want a surname as well?
No, that's enough.
Okay. So Carlotta is, I guess, like we'll get to roll later. Roll is the R. We'll get to that later. So all we need to say is there's somebody associated with the Toll House Inn who's Carlotta. And what's the rumor about the Toll House?
She is in love with the toll keeper.
But that's gonna be the main, or no?
Okay. Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. Or like having an affair. So leave
Having an
rumor
affair, yes.
leave rumor there. Leave rumor where it was.
Okay, oh, sorry.
So yeah, just say affair with X, because we haven't named the person in the manor yet.
Strong. Wait.
Just with X, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Tony, you're up.
I'm thinking about. I mean, we already did it, but number 6, ancient stone bridge. Maybe we have a really nice bridge, so we don't need to do it, and it's already there.
Yeah. So that'll be the next location then.
Yeah.
And the NPC there, there's gonna be something to do with that bridge. Maybe there's a beggar. I mean, just thinking about it could be anything. Like, don't think about somebody who's like has to run it. Think about it like a character who is somehow associated with that bridge.
A dog. A vicious dog.
It's meant to have. It's meant to be a person. It's meant to be a person.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a good idea.
It could be a person with a dog, but
Oh yeah, a beggar with a dog.
Huh? I mean, it's a doll.
so the idea here as well. I know you've written in on it, but the idea here is also we're calling it. We're actually writing these on the map too. So the Toll House would be a named thing, so we can see the Toll House and we can look down at our list and see the detail of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll do that for all of them. Let's make these a little bit smaller.
Okay.
So we're gonna run out of space, I think.
Ah. You need to get used to use this.
So I'm calling it Ebro Bridge, just because.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking, what could be the interesting person to be here? It's true, a beggar it's an easy one. I think it would be an interesting one. Somebody who.
Beggar is trying to collect some money to able to pay for the crossing.
And we'll talk about things like their motivations, their issues, like their problems and stuff. So like it can be anyone. If you want to, like, for now, just give it a name and have a vague idea, and we'll flesh it out later.
Okay.
So if you want a name, I also have these tables in front of me. So if you want to roll like a D100, feel free, or come up with a name, up to you.
56.
And do you want a masculine or a feminine name?
We had a feminine, so let's have a masculine now.
And you said 56.
Yeah.
56. We have Dietrich. Which is basically diet rich. Yeah, exactly. Dietrich. All right. What's the rumor? What's the rumor about the bridge?
It's not easy to come up with this idea.
Also, I want to go back very quickly, Attila. We'll come back to it. We'll leave it for now. The rumor with where Carlotta's having an affair, the B in each of those is the bond that each of the characters has with another NPC. So that affair is kind of like would be perfect material for a bond rather than a rumor. But we'll leave it for now. That's fine.
Okay.
But for this one, try not to think of the character. Think of the rumor that has to do more with the bridge itself.
Yeah, the rumor,
okay.
I don't know, a rumor around the bridge. I mean, you could have a rumor about the bridge. You could have a legend or a
Sure,
story.
it could be it can be any of those things. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, it can be anything like that.
Yeah, it's not a rumor.
I'll change that in the text because
least...
it should have originally been a rumor or a legend. And I changed it.
Yeah,
so
rumor or legend. Okay. So we could think maybe that it's well known because two lovers maybe kill themselves, jump out or something like this.
Suicide.
Yeah, because of love, Romeo and Juliet.
Star-crossed
like
lovers took their own lives at the bridge.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how high it is, but I'm thinking if the river is wide, it could have several towers and several steps, maybe. So it's maybe the river here is still very strong. So it's actually a good place.
Maybe they didn't just jump off. Maybe they could have like cut their wrists or
true.
something on the bridge because they knew people would see them and it would be quite public.
Yeah, there are still stains of blood on the bridge, maybe. Like,
or there's rumors like maybe there's a dark stain on the bridge and everyone says that's the spot they took their lives. So if you step on that spot, then you're like it's bad luck kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, and it's just moss, but who cares?
Blood. Okay. I guess I'll do one then because we got 6. I want to create, and that way each of us do 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do a mill because wheat is one of the primary things, and we need to then have somebody who's able to grind that wheat into flour. And they would also be the person who would bake the bread normally for the village. So I'm going to draw a mill near the river. So I'm going to try and put a little house here.
See, now you understand the need of templates.
No, it's fine. See, there's a house. There's a house. And here's the mill wheel.
Okay.
Look at that. It looks beautiful. And we're gonna call this the oh God, what's the name? What's the name for it? Any ideas? What's something interesting about a mill that we can make? How about we call it this? How about we call it this? We call it the we'll call it the 11th mill. Because the river is quite strong here, and the mill wheel keeps getting broken. And the joke is that it's probably not the 11th, it's probably like the 3rd or the 4th, but everyone just calls it the 11th mill because it's constantly having to be like repaired or replaced, bits of it.
That's good.
I like that. Yeah.
It's very.
And the NPC is going to be the miller, and we're going to call him, just like I wrote before, Sven Müller. Nice and easy. And the rumor about the mill is that there's an unhappy river spirit who keeps destroying it, who keeps wrecking the mill. And then I'll put wherever it is built. So we can even say like there's like ruins of previous mills on both sides of the river, upriver, downriver, it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that could straightway be an adventure for the start of the. This is the idea, right? These rumors can play straightway into plot hooks. Cool. All right. Next. Back to Attila.
Yes. Okay. I go with where is it?
There's no way this can take 20 minutes.
No.
No, because
Unless it's just
too
random.
late.
Unless it's like big random tables, you just roll on one. It's like bang. Okay, write it in. Bang, write it in. Yeah.
I mean, you could do that for rumor and legends. Put a verb, a noun, and things like this, and make people roll it.
Yeah.
I have a forester's house close to the forest.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a hunter's hut.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Ah, okay. I mean, it's the logical one, right?
Yeah. There's the
Yeah,
hunter's hut.
a hunter's lodge or something like that.
By the way,
the
if
room-
you want to do really detailed drawings, if you zoom in and then do the pencil, it's
yeah.
it becomes a little bit easier to draw like something a little bit more detailed, right?
Yeah.
Because you're drawing bigger. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay.
I just remember that I was playing around with this a little while ago.
Okay. So location. Hunter's hut. The NPC code Walter. And the rumor is he can turn into a wolf.
Oh, okay. It's like a werewolf.
Yes.
Oh, the hunter, Walter.
Yes.
Okay. Is this a real thing?
No, these are rumors. Like there doesn't have to be any truth to them.
No. I'm just thinking, is there gonna be werewolves in Pitchfork?
Why not? Sure. I mean, the idea is that there's also like I even wrote in the at the very very top in the introduction, I've said a creature of nightmares lurks in the shadows, picking off the sick and elderly. That could be a werewolf. It could be anything. So perfectly fine. All right, Astanata, you're up. Astanata. I'm just looking at your thing. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I do that all the time.
So thinking about number 5, an obelisk of a strange metal in the center of the market.
Okay.
Kind of thinking, there is no metal around. Where does this come from? And that would give, kind of, what is there?
Yeah. Okay.
And this is, and let's call it
Stars Spike or something, or
I like it.
Star Spear with Star Spear.
Okay, Star Spear,
something like that.
And the NPC. Yeah, that's a hard one because who will be next to.
We can leave it. I think we can leave the NPC. We want to come up with 6 NPCs. And the idea is I need to put it in here. Is if it doesn't make sense.
Because I think for some of the options that you have, it's really hard.
Yeah, try to create an NPC for each location and give them a name. If it doesn't make sense for that location, an NPC can be created later. An NPC not linked to a location can be created later. That's fine.
So the metal came from a fallen star long time ago.
Well,
Since there is no metal like this found around, something like this. So who did it? Why it was done?
Yep.
Etc.
So if the location already has a character, you can skip this step. Otherwise, come up with a name for.
Because it's true, if you're thinking of usual houses like a mill, a hut, makes sense. But for all the others, like obelisk, a statue, okay, even the bridge, it's hard to come up with somebody.
Matt,
Yeah.
I think you should limit the locations so it's matching the size of the village. So if you got like 20 households, have the locations only like have 2 or 3. For 60 households, have it 3
Okay.
and 4. 100 households, have it 5 and 6.
So
Because at the moment,
I think there needs to be at least 2, right? Otherwise, you don't have much of a village without it, right?
yes. So have it 2, 4, and 6 or something.
The problem is that the locations of the locale that you are looking here is not only things that belong, that are part of the village, like a mill or a tool house. There are also like smaller things that give some personality to the town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's a mix. The problem is that there is a mix here of things.
I think you're right. I think it can be scaled down a bit. I think you don't need to have 6 if you're going with a small one.
Yes.
But I would say 6 is the default. I think if you're having a large village, you probably want to have more than 6 to make it feel big and that there's a lot of stuff happening. But that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Make a comment here. Perhaps scale the number of locales based on the size of the village. Yeah.
Yeah, because right now it's defined by the number of players.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Which
But
doesn't make a lot
I've
of
put
sense.
6. I think for me 6 is the sweet spot, right? You've got 6. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, right now we have 5, and we have extra landmarks and.
Yeah. So I'll come up with one last one. Just looking at the list rather than rolling. I don't want there to be a smithy because while metal is probably not smithed here, it's probably bought from there are probably tinkers who come in, not tinkers. What's the word I'm looking for? Peddlers who come in, and they specifically come here with metal like tools and things to trade. And they probably do a bit of peddlers often would do small repairs too. So I think we'll leave it like that. I think we don't have anything to do with the water really, other than the mill. So things like a fishing, something to do with fishing, like a fishing industry or a dock for, for ships, not for ships, but for like.
Maybe on the river, as
Yeah.
maybe
So I'm
on the
thinking. I
river
think
it makes more
upriver.
sense.
Upriver. I'm gonna draw something.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of whether it's going to be fishing. I think it's not going to be fishing. It's going to be more trade related. So we're going to put like a hostel. We've got an inn already called the Toll House. Maybe there's a second one. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a second inn with a dock, and it's going to be upriver. And there's going to be some bad blood between these two places. So this one's going to be. And we have here okay. Beautiful, right?
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh man, what's going on? Oh, okay, forget it. Right, we're gonna call it the what's the name for an inn that has something to do with boats or river trade?
The boathouse.
The boathouse. Yeah. I mean, the toll house, the boathouse, they're a bit close, though, aren't they? We'll call it the
The boat.
Well, that's why they hate each other. They're fighting.
We're gonna call it the Hook and
Docks.
Now I'm thinking the hook and
And the line.
the hook and line. There we go. It's a good name for a kind of a pub, but it's also gonna be a tavern. Okay, so then that's our last location then. So the location, the hook and line. NPC is going to be, I'm going to roll D100 here. I have a feminine innkeeper. I'm going to go with Anthea. And I'm going to roll again for her surname. Baumann. Becker.
Becker, I like that. Yeah.
Anthea Becker. And the rumor... The rumor is that...
She waters the wine.
Oh, she could have an affair with the
No. That would be under bond. That would be under the bond, remember. We're trying to keep away from anything too personal with the named NPC. This is more to do with the location.
Okay.
So the rumor about the tavern or the inn would be... Oh man, I'm just trying to think of something juicy. Anything springing to mind? I like the idea of the ale being watered down, but I think that's it's not quite it's not quite enough.
Punchy.
Yeah.
You could think that maybe it's
Oh, I've got an idea.
Where,
Go on.
I was thinking that shady characters meet from time to time.
Yeah, I was thinking this.
Rumors.
I was thinking the same thing, that this is like, it could be cultists or it could be thieves or something. Yeah.
Love it.
So, meeting place for unsavory types. And nobody's sure what they are. Like, there's rumors that they might be, and I'll put in brackets here, like cultists, question mark, thieves, question mark, werewolves. That could be anything, right?
Yeah.
Good, perfect. Okay, so there we have it. That's like the first bit done. That's the map basically drawn, and the last step we're going to do is we're going to come up with the community. We're going to flesh out the community, and we start with the ruler. So first we need a name for the ruler. The role, right? So we've already decided that it's basically going to be like a bailiff or a mayor. We can just say that the role is the mayor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the mayor is responsible for the tolls, right? And then we got to think of a name. So I have here first names and noble families or common surnames. So the noble family would be if you were like if that was the role, or even potentially a warrior or a knight would have a noble name. But we're going to go with common surname. And all of these surnames or most of these surnames are to do with, like, they kind of sound like mayoral names. Like Richter means judge, for example. Maya is one way of writing mayor, and things like that. So why don't each of you roll a d6 and
2.
are we going with so Carlotta? So actually, both of the inns are being run by women, and one of them is having an affair. So we could say this is a man. It could be an affair with another woman. Doesn't have to be heterosexual. But yeah, you go ahead and give me a name. So you rolled. What's the name of the mayor going to be? The first name.
Johan.
Okay, so you rolled the 2 there.
I rolled a 2, yes.
And Tony, can you give me a roll?
3. So Boyd. Johan Boyd.
Okay. Try to remember what that meant. Johan Voigt, who's the mayor. And the last one is the quirk. The quirk is what they're known for, what they're whispered to be. We can make this as long. It doesn't have to be just be one word like these are. We can like expand it out a little bit and put a little like phrase there if we want.
He's a bit of a player.
Well, I mean, that's like we've got here. We don't have anything there to do with like hedonist kind of. But that could be it. Yeah, I mean, he could basically be like
ladies' man.
What's the word I'm looking for? The 7 deadly sins. One of them is lust. So like we could say he's
Lustful.
Lustful. Yeah. So his quirk is that he's lustful. So he's a kind of a creepy dude.
Yeah.
Okay, there's our ruler. Next we go to villagers, and we're going to take turns one at a time. In fact, we can just do the villagers that we came up with, and the idea is that we're just going to we're going to flesh out the steps. So we'll do it step by step. So if we start with the Toll House and Carlotta, what's her role?
What do you mean?
That's going to be you, Attila. So her role, I guess, would be innkeeper, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So go ahead and type that in by the R. Okay. The M is her motivation, and this is where you can roll. You can either roll a d6 or you can come up with something.
She wants to be better innkeeper than her. What's that? Athea.
Athea, yeah.
So,
Athea, yes.
So her motivation we could put is rivalry.
Rivalry.
Or you could put rivalry with Anthea.
Yeah, I need to. How is rivalry?
RIVALRY. So rivalry with Anthea.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then I is going to be an issue. So what kind of problem does Carlotta have? And again, there's a d6 you can roll here.
Issue. Yes, let's just roll 5.
Secret past.
Secret. Yes, I'm happy with that. Secret past.
What is her secret past then?
Yeah, because because this is something that is blocking her from winning this rivalry, right? So what could be the reason why?
I mean, this could be why she's sleeping with Johan, because he knows about her past and he's blackmailing her.
Yeah, that's more the other one that you have. No, there is one that is blackmail, number 2.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it doesn't have to be. It does like we can go with it whatever we want, right? So the idea is like these should be giving you an idea, and then you just kind of run and take it whichever direction you want. So, just that could kind of work there.
Yeah. So, but we still need a.
So I don't know.
Yeah, blackmail is a good one, or maybe she's actually sleeping with with this guy because she wants him to give him some prerogative to be the best in town, and and so maybe I was thinking more she's gullible. So this guy is taking the major is taking advantage of her and is saying, yeah, you will get this. I will make you the first in town and whatever, and she's just being held back and being used by this guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So gullible.
What's the tollkeeper?
Johan. Mm-hmm. I mean, blackmail makes it sound like she doesn't have a choice, like
to sleep with this guy, yeah.
That he's holding something over her. So that'd be kind of like. Anyway, I think let's move on because we've got a lot more to get through. And we got half an hour left on the stream actually, so this is taking a long time. B is Bond. So Bond, we just put in there affair with Johan, or yeah.
Although that's also the rumor.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to come up with a different rumor. I've got a mosquito buzzing around something. Buzzing around me. I've got one light which is near my head. It's just kind of buzzing around.
Yeah, I think it's the first part is a bit faster. It takes longer to paint things maybe, but this part is true that you will need definitely more time.
Yeah.
Because these are things that you can roll and then it might be fast, but you need to to detail a bit. So yeah, I mean it's fine for a session 0, but it's never gonna take 20 minutes. That's for sure.
No, that's true. Okay.
Done.
Okay. Right. Ebro Bridge. So Dietrich, I was thinking, okay, let's go with the beggar thingy. Why
So
not?
anyway, Attila, that's fine. We'll leave it like that. But again, the rumor is not meant to be between people, right? The rumor is meant to be
Uh,
about the actual location. We'll leave it. We'll leave it. That's fine. If you can come
okay,
up
okay,
if
okay.
you can come up with something while we're doing the bridge, then go ahead and write it
Okay,
in.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's fine. Okay. So he's a beggar. What's his
So,
motivation? You can roll a
uh,
d6 if you want.
uh, well, it's okay. Let's see what it comes out. 3, which could be physical perfection. Yeah, sure. Be honest. Well, I'm just thinking the motivation to be there is, well, he doesn't have a really a choice, right? He's just trying to make the best of his life. So it's just make a
Well, so you
living.
could say survival. That's the 1 by 6, right?
Okay, so
He's
yeah,
he's there
perfect.
because people coming new to the village, like travelers, will go by him. That's his best chance for getting a handout, not people in the village.
Okay.
And maybe that ties into his problem. His problem is that
Yeah.
he's unpopular, right?
I was thinking actually, the issue of not getting all this money. I get it. I get it. But I was thinking actually something more dramatic. Like he was
Okay.
trying to, I was thinking that he's actually, he's asking for money, but he's trying to perform. Maybe in his past, he used to be what are the name of these guys that usually entertain nobles and all this? I forgot the
A
name now.
troubadour, minstrel. There's lots of names for him.
Yeah, something like this. I was thinking more
Hmm.
like the one that is jokeful that falls and then everyone
Jester
laughs at him. Yes,
or
thank you.
fool. They're also called fools, but yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So I was thinking, he used to be a jester or
Okay.
fool or whatever, and then he was not really very good, and then he's just trying to do it now,
Okay.
but he looks
Sure.
like crap, and
Yeah. Okay.
and then
So
it
he's.
links with your idea of unpopular.
I mean, he doesn't need to be unpopular, right? It can be that. Oh yeah, no, that works. That works. Yeah, sure. People thinking he's just completely. He's just a fool.
Yeah, not funny. Yeah, not funny. And so he gets some
Yeah.
money, but not enough. Just
Or
get by.
his jokes are too rude or something, right? Like he
Yeah.
doesn't care anymore. He's not trying to impress anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
bond, he needs a bond with somebody. So we
Yeah.
have the people that have been named there. Is there anyone? And we could have an NPC that hasn't that goes with the star spear that we haven't actually named yet.
Yeah, two options I see here. One, it could be something with Anthea because he's running a place within unsavory types. So you could think maybe he has a link there. He helps them listen to things around the town, I don't know, or new travelers over. He brings the rumors. That could be one, or the other one, as you said, maybe the Star Spear. So I don't know. Let's go with Anthea, Confidant Anthea, or others in the something like that.
Okay. Sure. All right, then we get to Sven, guy I created. His role is the miller. His motivation is I'm gonna roll, but I kind of have an idea for this. I've rolled a 6, which is vengeance. Ooh, God. Okay, that's good. I can't ignore that one. So he's got vengeance on his mind, and that'll be the bond probably. What's his issue? Issue might play into this as well. I've rolled a 6 again. Hidden guilt. But let's see if there's something better there. Threatened. I like threatened.
Maybe fugitive. Maybe he actually did. Well, no.
Hold on. We're saying that his mill keeps getting wrecked. So maybe the vengeance is more to do with like he wants revenge on the river spirit. Like that's his motivation is to like he's willing to pay people money. He's hired adventurers in to like or people spiritualists who are there to try and like exorcise the river of this demon or whatever, and nothing's worked, right? So vengeance versus the river spirit. So that's his motivation. His issue is maybe he's I'm just looking. I rolled a 6, but I want to go with he's addicted. I'm gonna say he's a drunk. Drowns his misfortunes in ale. And his bond then is going to be with Carlotta. Everyone's linked to the inn. I like it.
Well, there too.
Carlotta, because he's close to the toll house, right? That's really close. So we'll say that actually Carlotta's related to him somehow. Carlotta is his sister, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Johan could use Sven to blackmail Carlotta. Sven is a drunk, so Johan can make him work-less if Carlotta's not sleeping with him or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
That works.
All right, over to the hunter's hut then.
Okay, so Walter is a hunter. Motivation is independence.
Yeah, perfect.
What's I?
His issue.
Issues. Why he doesn't achieve his independence.
I should probably rename this to problem or something. I'll change that now to problem in the text.
He hates Johan and the power he has. And then Bond is...
with the beggar, with literage. Somehow they are...
Well, instead of just writing Johan, we have to write something that we kind of... Everyone knows exactly what that means. So what is his issue with Johan exactly? That he has to pay tithes to him? That he's not allowed to hunt certain game? Or... I wouldn't put Johan. I would put something like what the issue is. Resents or like anarchist, you could say something like I don't know. I'm trying to think of what you put here. That's not really a problem.
Johan puts too much tax on hunting.
That's not a problem though that he's got. That's just a state of life. That's just a mindset. The problem is like what's actually plaguing him.
Yeah, but it needs to be linked to the motivation, right?
It doesn't need. No, it doesn't need to be. Not necessarily.
It doesn't need to.
Not necessarily. I mean, that's usually the easy place to go to.
Yeah. I would say he can just hate somebody's guts just because, I don't know, he doesn't like the way he walks, he doesn't like the way he looks at people.
But that's Bond. That's Bond. That's Bond.
Walter is in love with
Charlotte,
and he knows that she's got backplayed by Johan, and that's why he hates him.
Yeah.
So that's still Bond. We're still talking about a Bond then.
No, but we can put that as a Bond.
Sure.
I think
So it could be the Bond would be jealous of Johan, for example, to keep it short. Jealous of Johan's.
No, I mean like the Bond is Charlotte, the love towards the innkeeper lady, but Walter knows Johan is blackmailing her, so that's why he hates Johan.
Yeah. Okay. I'd still put all that under Bond somehow.
Yeah, well, that tells you that then it's very clear all this problem, motivation, and Bond.
So under Bond, I would put loves Carlotta, knows about blackmail. That's probably enough, right? And the rest is like how does he react with that? And then the problem is going to be something else.
Well, but no, because if he loves Carlotta and he cannot get Carlotta because Carlotta is being blackmailed, that's a problem for him.
But the blackmail might not be common knowledge, right?
Maybe he knows.
Yeah, but Anyway. Okay.
His problem is everyone calls him a werewolf and he hates that.
I mean, this is where I put double life, right? For problem. Yeah. You could put just put problem actually a werewolf. That's enough of a problem. Cool. All right, then Tony, back to you for this NPC. Do you want to roll a D100 for the name first?
Yeah, I think it's easier. 73.
Sorry?
73.
Okay. And do you want it to be male or female?
Yeah, let's go for an equal number. So we have 2, 3 guys. Yeah, a female.
73. Lucinda.
I love it.
So that goes here for NPC Lucinda, like that. Okay.
And then 67. 67.
Oh, for a surname. I'm gonna flip to the right page.
Yeah.
67, you said?
Yeah.
So I'll pick the one and then the two on either side. We have Nachtmann, Naubhoff, or Netzhoch.
Oh my gosh. That
Or we'll go with Neumann.
Neumann. Okay, that's easy to pronounce.
Neumann.
Yeah. So, everyone is going to butcher all these names.
Oh, yeah. This is straight out of a Warhammer supplement, so this is all Warhammer. So, all right, in.
Oh my gosh.
Lucinda Neumann. What's her role then? So who is this person?
I'm gonna roll it. I'm just gonna roll it. Let's see. No, damn
We
it,
don't
I'm
have.
gonna roll
I don't
it.
have a table for it.
Very bad.
I mean, this could be like she could be some sort of like a priest or like a healer. She could be the midwife. She could be
Fine, healer. Let's say that
she could be a fisher.
yeah.
She could be a fisherwoman. But there's all sorts of things.
No.
Okay,
let's
then
go for
then
a
her role.
healer.
Let's do the healer then. Yeah.
I like healer.
Okay. And what's her motivation then? I can type this in if you want.
Oh, thank you. Okay, motivation. I'm just gonna roll. Let's see what we get. 5. A possession or wealth.
Oh, interesting.
I like possession.
What is she wanting then?
Well, no, she's possessed by something, right? Okay, fine. It's not that.
It's more like she wants to own sorry.
Own something, yeah.
It's like she wants something.
Let's say something that can help her with the healing better. I would say it's
Maybe
I don't know.
maybe she wants like a home. Maybe she lives in like a shack or a hovel.
Fine.
Something like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
So her motivation is to own a bigger home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Problem. Gonna roll 4. Fugitive. I like that.
Okay. Why? What's the story behind that?
Maybe she had a bad practice at some point, or she did something, or she poisoned somebody, and she just came here trying to escape from that to get a better life.
Okay. So she
she's
has a
not getting
she's a fugitive, reputation as a bad healer
Yeah, but nobody knows. In this
somewhere
town yet.
else.
Yeah, nobody knows here yet. Okay, bond. Okay, we'll roll again. 1. Apprentice mentor.
Oh, a mentor maybe. So maybe she's
Yeah.
or an apprentice. Like she has.
No, mentor. No, because she arrives. She's supposed to. She.
Oh yeah.
But then we don't have anybody else left.
That's fine. That's fine. We can create a person. That's not a problem. So we're basically just saying like she's an apprentice to someone else, and that's maybe that like she wants a bigger home. Maybe she's like wants this mentor's home. As soon as she feels she's learned enough, she can poison that sort of thing can happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why not? Sounds good.
All right. So mentor. So we're gonna say mentor. Who's the mentor gonna be? We're gonna pick a name.
We can roll.
Yeah, roll the name.
76. I feel this number already came.
I can flip it to 67. Oh, 67
Yeah.
came. 76 we haven't
Yeah.
had yet.
Okay.
How about a woman again or a man?
I would say more a woman in this case.
Okay, so how about Elsbeth?
I love it.
So the mentor is Elsbeth, the current village midwife.
Yeah.
Or we'll say the old village midwife.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice.
There
I
you
like
go.
it. Perfect. Okay, cool. And the last one's mine. Anthea Becker. Role is she's another innkeeper. Her motivation is I'm gonna roll, but I might change it. I've rolled 2, which is anarchy or manipulation. I like anarchy a lot.
Yeah, because it goes with the rumor.
Yeah. Anarchy. She has she flounce rules as much as possible. As much as safely possible, right? She lives here. She doesn't want to actually she's careful enough that it's never quite on the wrong side of being found out, right? She's always got a good excuse or something. 5, problem. Zealous or secret past. I've had that one already. I'm going to roll again. I'm just going to pick something then.
I would say forbidden, maybe forbidden desire or...
Oh, yeah. Forbidden desire.
Or brainwashed by the cult.
Forbidden desire. It's all going to tie together. Her problem is going to be that she, it's kind of ties to her motivation. She's a cultist.
Oh.
But it's too, like, the rumor's too on the nose. Like, that'd be too easy for her to be found out, I think. Yeah. So maybe maybe we can change the... Go on.
No, because it doesn't have to be cultist, the rumor. It's just, it's not a rumor that it's a meeting place for unsavory types, right? They are probably around.
Yeah, but the rumor is that's like it's just that the rumor is that there's like the people who stay there are all slightly off. In fact, that can be the rumor. Guests tend to be quite off. No, say odd.
Odd, yeah.
And that's her forbidden desire. Cultist seeking
power.
That's not like it's not a problem though, is it?
Well, it is. If
it's more like her motivation.
That is that like blood magic or sacrificial magic or something like this? So she needs to get this somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, but that's a bit more complex.
Yeah. So forbidden desire. I'm just gonna say, cultist magic draining her.
Yeah.
Or say dark magic. And instead of anarchy, I'm going to change her motivation to
chaos.
To chaos, cultist, seeking greater power. There we go. And her bond is going to be with...
Maybe the hunter, no? Because he's a werewolf, so I guess...
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about Dietrich as well, because he's got a link to her as her confidant.
True. Maybe Dietrich can provide people. I don't know. Point out. Oh yeah, this one. Go to the in-house. It's a good place to stay. Oops.
I mean, it's kind of the same. It feels a bit like I'm linking the two bonds together, but I don't think that's a problem. No, we're gonna say Lucinda. Lucinda has seen marks of chaos. Lucinda has seen marks of corruption, but needs Anthea, but is her friend or something, or maybe her or they're related. Maybe Lucinda's her.
Well, but they're both seeking power if you think about it. One is more wealth and the other one is raw power. So maybe they have similar motivations. So they just want.
So there's a bit of blackmail going on.
Yeah, maybe. One needs the other somehow.
Yeah, I'm gonna change the problem then to blackmail. Because I think the chaos cultist, that all ties up with like her seeking magic and stuff. So the problem is blackmail, and the bond is going to be Lucinda. No, the fact I'm going to stick with that. Lucinda has seen marks of corruption, and then I'm going to change the bond to be with Dietrich. Dietrich brings guests from the road. All right, cool. We're basically done, right?
Yeah.
The last thing we need to come up with are threats. We've got like 5 minutes left and we can go a little bit over if we need to. But threats is basically they have to be from the perspective of the villagers, and not wider threats to the region. And there's some generic threats there to use as a basis for something more specific.
I would say that number 2, or actually 2 or 3, because now we have 3 characters heavily linked that are looking for power. supernatural and not supernatural. So you can go for 2 or 3 in a way.
So the supernatural threat could be whatever's in the river destroying the mill, right?
Well, it could be part of the chaos magic.
Ghost of the lovers.
No, but or think about it. I mean, the Anthea is probably practicing somewhere nearby, maybe in the ruins, maybe in the broken tower, and this brings out the winds of magic or whatever it's here, and then that's what is causing all these ruckus. Maybe they actually have a demon around, so it's actually brewing.
I like it.
And it's gonna explode at some point. You have 3 characters already super linked, developing this cultist and black magic activity. So
yeah. So in fact, like Dietrich could be recruiting people to feed to the demon, right?
Yeah.
Demon is, so if I put here threat supernatural, supernatural. I'm just gonna change it and just write demon. A demon has been summoned and is feeding. See, this is where like you as players are straight away knowing what's happened, right? But this is where it starts breaking down as like coming up with the threats together might even be something for the GM to do.
Well, yeah, because
we destroyed the whole, yeah.
Because otherwise you're kind of knowing the punchline, because you'll know straight away. Well, we've got Anthea, who's a chaos cultist, and that's also the other thing is like, well, you know as players that she's a chaos cultist, but you wouldn't necessarily know that as other people. So.
Well, we are linking everyone, right? So we developed this based on what we got. So it's true. It's
it's an interesting thing to kind of come up with here. That's fine. We'll leave it as it is because I think I need to have a think about that and maybe put some guidance in here in terms of like the motivation and the problem. Just put that here. Maybe keep these as elements that characters would know.
Or limit them. The motivations are the problem. Have tables for it, but to a certain level.
I'm definitely because of how long this is taking, I'm definitely getting to the point where I think this needs to be random tables. More random tables for this sort of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, but they need to be bigger.
So a second threat, we could say. So what's another threat you kind of mentioned there that it could be the enemy within. So
yeah.
Yep.
Or it could be also a plague or a power corrupt. So it goes with all the theme.
So enemy within. There is a cultist. There's a cultist. Yeah.
Ring.
Well, there's at least one. There's at least one cultist in the village causing problems. Right. All right, and that's basically it. So the last step here is finishing the map, right? So once we're finished, then basically what would happen is we could then start adding a few details, like where would the houses be? Well, the houses would obviously be around the market, right? So we got the Kleinfeld, there'd be farmhouses around that. We'd have houses near the toll house along the road. There'd be other little shops and things like that potentially. So that would all be kind of clustered around the market square. Extra paths and things. I mean, you could have it. There could be a path leading from the hunter's hut to the village, for example. There could be a path leading to
Broken Tower.
Yeah, maybe there's a path leading to the Broken Tower. Although I'm not sure people would use it necessarily. But yeah, there could be that sort of thing.
A lighthouse. Yeah.
If it used to be, there could be an old path. Yeah, it could be like a broken path. Like an old Roman path type of thing. Walls, there could be a village. We could put a wall around the village, theoretically. That sort of thing. But that's it, basically. So yeah, that in a nutshell is, and we've got like 1 minute to go on the stream. And we've finished. We've made a village called Kleinfeld. It's got 6 NPCs. And the next step here would be we would then do character creation, and we would create separate characters. And those characters would have relationships, like one of the aspects on the character sheet would be relationships, and you'd be expected to tie two of your relationships to NPCs. And they could be the NPCs we've come up with already, or they could be new ones that you make up. But the idea is one of them is an NPC that you have to protect, that you feel the need to protect, and one is an NPC that you hate. And this is coming from Mutant Year Zero. They had this mechanic. I think that really fits in this. And Mutant Year Zero has an arc mechanic, and this is kind of similar. Like we're creating a base of operations that are like we're going to be based around, and there's going to be lots of intrigue and interaction with NPCs. So having a link to some of these NPCs directly on your character sheet is important. So that's kind of why we've done it, and it kind of also helps us frame things like who the. In fact, one thing we didn't do is we meant to put the name of the ruler on the map. So rather than calling it like the toll house or anything like that, we actually put his name. Oops, like this, and we'll move the star spear, make him smaller. God, it's a little bit fiddly, this program. But I usually used Miro for other things that we'd been using, and Miro doesn't unless if for the free version, other people can't draw, which kind of makes it useless. But it's a lot easier to use. So anyway, yeah, that was really fun from my perspective.
No, me too. I like it. I mean, it's very interesting, but I feel that what we're creating is more like, the starting thing for a GM.
Well, it is. It is definitely.
In
It definitely is like that. Yeah, but the idea is that it's collaborative in that the players also feel invested. They have been involved in the process, and are instantly when we start the first session, you know some of the intrigue around the village and what's happening. So I think I just need to scale down some of the things like the motivations and the problems, because those are more from like a PC's perspective, and I think they need to be a little bit more mundane, and not as like spoilery, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because the players knows far too much now after all this.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And that's good to know.
Yeah, although I agree with you that it's really fun to come up with the whole thing and the whole setting together and in this collaborative way. But then, you don't want to spoil yourself.
There's no more secret left, basically.
Yeah.
Or not much secret left.
Yeah. So I just need to make it a bit clear in the text that these are... that the intention is that players are going to be interacting with them, and there needs to be some mystery and some secrets. So I think that's where the rumors are kind of important. I mean, we spoiled the werewolf thing already, right? Like, he can turn into a werewolf. His problem shouldn't be that he's actually a werewolf. It should be something more mundane, right? Because otherwise that's like, you're going to know. Like, you as players are going to know, well, he's a werewolf. So it's better to have a rumor that people are talking about it, and you think that it's ridiculous, and his problem is actually that, I don't know, he's... I don't know, something else, right?
He's just a very hairy man. I know it sounds a bit silly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's some other problem, right? He's got some other problem, and like that's never sure whether it's just a rumor and there's nothing to it, or is there actually something to it? Like, we've kind of like, if we're not keeping an eye on that, this is great feedback from me, by the way. Is kind of trying to tease that out and trying to fix that. So yeah. No, that was fun though. So I'm gonna I guess finish the stream up here. Do either of you have any other feedback you want to give me first?
No.
I'm not sure we've got anybody on the stream left. We might have one. But yeah, cool. Tony, you got anything else you want to add?
No. Well, we went over.
So I would just keep the name and the rumors and strip the rest. The bond, the problem, and the motivation.
Okay. Maybe just a roll.
Table. Yeah.
I think there's something.
The GM.
I think there's something that needs to be done here, though, from the players. So the players feel a little bit more invested than just putting a name against people. So maybe there can be something like a motivation, right? I think the motivations aren't giving much away, right?
Yeah.
Well, the chaos cultist.
Oh, the chaos cultist, but yeah, that's not actually something that was on the.
Yeah.
If I'm just focusing the motivations on tables that you actually roll on, and I can make them all a little bit more mundane. And that shouldn't be a problem. I won't put anything in there like that.
Yeah,
you could have like a relation table for it as well. Who's sisters or brothers, or how do they know each other, things like that.
Yeah.
If they're lovers, they related or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, give some guidelines that it has to be mundane. You cannot say this chaos cultist.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll have to specify that. Yeah. That needs to be they definitely could be a chaos cultist, but that's not what you're coming up with at this stage.
No.
And the problem, I don't know. I'll have to think about that, because I do like having a little bit of detail there, but maybe the problem needs to come out, and that can be something that the GM comes up with. But we'll see. I kind of like that as well. But again, I can make the problems much more mundane, and give more guidance around that. And I think the bonds are also like, there's a lot of things there with like, those are very spoilery, right?
Yeah.
And I think those can definitely come out. I think the bonds definitely are
too much.
Adding spoilers potentially. So I'm gonna put a comment there on that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll think about that.
It's cool to do this exercise. I think it's very nice.
No, I'm quite happy with how the whole thing turned out as well, because I've done the map making thing is very similar to the Quiet Year. Only, I mean, it's different, but it's kind of got a similar feel to how you do things. And I quite like that. I've done it lots of times before, and you always come up with something that feels like a place you want to actually play in, right? Because you're like, you've all come up with it together, and you're starting to go off of the ideas that other people are coming up with, which is always really cool. So yeah. And then the second thing this is from Kingdom. I basically borrowed all this community building stuff, and I really like that as well. I think that works quite well. It's just getting the right balance of making it because Kingdom is not meant to be role played. Your Kingdom is you're playing the community. And so it's very fine to have these intrigues and these secrets and stuff happening, because you're kind of you're not playing it like a traditional RPG. You're playing it as like what happens to the community as a whole as time goes on, and it doesn't really work here. So I need to have a think about how to simplify that and maybe change it a bit so it's a bit more player friendly. Yeah. But yeah, cool. All right.
Cool.
Thanks very much. And I think we'll just end the stream here. So thanks very much for watching. I mean, all of the places you can find me or us to discuss this episode if you want to talk to us are at the bottom of the video here. Links will be in the show notes or the description, sorry, I should say, for the video. So yeah, you can leave comments on it, and I'll see them and write back. But yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube and you are a user of Twitch, then it would really help a lot if you could go to Twitch and hit the follow button, or you could go to if you're also watching on YouTube, if you could hit the subscribe button, that also helps as well. It keeps me motivated. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. Yeah, I'll be back next Sunday playing episode 2 of Vaesen along with Tony here. And then the week after that, I will be GMing our 4th session of Forbidden Lands. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing next Thursday, but I'll figure something out. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time. And thanks, gents, for playtesting too. That's really helpful.
Always our pleasure.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.